Gopala Astrology channel, where the science meets astrology for common man's understanding. Subscribe and stay tuned to this channel for continued astrological updates. Okay, now it's better, I think.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay, you can hear me well, right?
Yeah, I can hear you well, and I will let you know, I will allow you to talk. Instead, I will stop the video.
Definitely, no problem. So
Okay.
let me share my screen, Sudan. So it's going to be a divisional chart and its importance in Vedic astrology. That's going to be our tonight's topic. Okay, so we have been speaking a lot about those concepts and all that in the recent past. All right, so it has worked out very well. There is a good response from the people over here, and they have been asking a lot of questions also. So now, in the meantime, we should also give a lot of importance to what is known as divisional charts in our Vedic astrology. I will tell you a very simple analogy here, Sudan. See, imagine the Rashi chart is like a big building, okay? Suppose you take an Empire State Building there and try to look at the top view and superimpose, let us say there are about 100 floors in the building. When you superimpose all the things into the ground floor and try to take a look at the Empire State Building and try to understand where is the office, where is the library, where is this, you will go missing, right? You will go crazy. Right. So you want to really understand certain things about floor number 10, for example, you have to open up the divisional chart, something like this, the floor plan of 10th floor, and understand in detail what is there inside, and then try to do the analysis. Okay. Right. If you try to look everything together, it's very difficult to really make the full judgment, because one particular house, for example, you have fourth house. Fourth house talks about many aspects. It talks about mother. It talks about basic degree qualification of a person in terms of basic degree. It talks about your vehicles. It talks about your immovable properties, assets, and it is called Sukhasthanam, right? So many things are attributed to fourth house. So that is why our sage Parashara Maharshi had given a lot of importance for divisional charts. We need to really do this, because I have found that many astrologers, they don't even look into the divisional charts when they make predictions. So they try to ask, the main reason could be also the non-availability of accurate time of birth. Okay, in the few slides, you will understand more about this. So definition of divisional chart itself is saying that, whenever you want to study, the horoscope reading in Vedic astrology is incomplete. It's incomplete when you don't use divisional charts, all right? It is just seeing a building and then you are just talking entire buildings analysis just like that from the top view, which is not correct. That's exactly what it is written here. In fact, many people make a big mistake and they ignore the divisional charts and make mistakes in the analysis, and they won't give the proper, precise predictions. Yes. All right. So you can always ask me the question, what is this to do with greenstone logo concept? It talks about outer planets, it talks about just the Lagna chart, and it doesn't go into the individual divisional charts. Why is it so different? What is it so important? See, if you go to Jagannatha Hora and try to go into the main Varga charts, you can get into so many types of subdivisional charts other than Rashi and Navamsha, which is very commonly seen by astrologers in general. Okay, so here there is something called Dashamsha Kundali, there is something called Siddhansha, Shorashamsha, Shashtiamsha, and all that. So for getting these things done, you need a very precise time of birth. See, I have made a video on what is the real time of birth. In that, I have concluded that whenever the doctor brings the baby out of the mother's womb and cuts the umbilical cord, right? So that is the point in which we say the soul enters the body, right? So that the time of cutting of umbilical cord, if it is really recorded properly in the hospital, you will be very lucky, and we can even predict your Shashtiamsha chart accurately, right? So it is very difficult, especially before 1980s and all that, those times. the hospitals were not recording the time of birth correctly, and even the records are not properly maintained, especially in India. Right? So that's where people are scared to use the divisional chart because they are afraid that their predictions can go wrong. But in reality, we have to really look into each of these divisional charts in clarity. I have put some of the details of each of these charts in this slide. It's very important to know that Rashi chart, yes, it talks about the physicality of your body. So the moment you see an Empire State Building from a distance, you can say, oh, it's a beautiful building. It's in a nice location and it is standing erect and it is very good. But inside there may be no good maintenance. There may be some of the floors having some of the girders getting fully rusty, right? So I'm just telling you that that's what happens to a man. When you look at a person, oh, you may see that this person is perfectly all right and he's doing well. But actually, he may be suffering, he may be having some problems, he may be having problems with his wife, he may be having problems with his children, or he may be having problems with his financial matter. All this has to be individually looked into the charts, okay? And that is where we should apply the sage Parashara Maharshi's concepts of divisional charts very well, all right? So here you can look into Rashi chart for the main generic matters. And then Hora chart talks about the wealth and the family. That is called D2. So, okay, D1, D2, D3, etc. This is how we name and number the divisional charts. Okay, and then Drekana is talking about D3. It's about siblings. What do I mean by Drekana and Hora and all that? See, for example, we all know from our basic fundamental definition, every Rashi is going to have 0 to 30 degrees, right? So when I divide it into half and make it like half for each of the 12 zodiac signs, you will get 24 subdivisions. And that is what is going to lead you into Hora chart. In the same way, when I take a Rashi and split them into 3 portions, that means 30 divided by 3, when you keep doing it, every 10 degrees is called Drekana. In Sanskrit, Drekana also represents 10 actually. So 10 degrees of each of the Rashis, when you split and put it, we get a chart that will talk about your siblings and nature of the siblings and your relationship with the siblings and all that. It is not the siblings chart actually. It is the relationship of you with the siblings. Please understand that. Are you with me, Sudan?
Yes.
When we talk about divisional charts, we are talking about our relationship with that aspect.
Yes.
It's all about you, basically. It's not about the children. If you are talking about D7, we talk about Saptamamsha Kundali of a person. That means how the relationship is there between this man and his children is seeing that. It's not the children's chart itself. They will have their karmic chart. They will have their own set of charts that we need to see based on their date of birth. But the relationship between this man and his children is seen through that. So in the same way, we have Chaturtamsha chart. We are going to have this for understanding the fortune of the person and then property matters, okay? So that's the D4. Saptamamsha, as I told you, D7 is talking about the child and its relationship with the man. And then Navamsha Kundali is very widely used. And we call that as the relationship chart, okay? And how well the person is going to have his life after 35. The second half of the person's life is seen in D9 chart. All right. If you are talking about Dashamamsha Kundali, that means how is the profession of a person? If you want to go and look into that particular floor and understand the way the job that this man is going to do, the relationship of him with his subordinates or colleagues or bosses, all can be seen in Dashamsha Kundali chart, okay? So, of course, whenever the same can be reflected in Rashi chart. I'm not saying that the Rashi chart doesn't say anything about the profession. It will show you in the 10th house for sure. But when we surgically open this main Kundali chart and split them into 10 portions each, and then see each one, and then split them and rearrange them, you will get into more and more details of this person's professional chart. Okay? That is about Dashamsha Kundali. Dwadashamsha is talking about your parents. Okay, what is the relationship between you and your parents can be analyzed in D12 chart. And Shodashamsha is the main happiness, comforts. Okay, and what vehicles you are going to have, how is the traveling going to bring benefit to you, what type of comforts and gadgets that you are going to have in the material world. All about material world happiness can be seen in Shodashamsha Kundali. All right. So Vimshamsha is talking about your true spiritual karmic accounts. Okay. If D20 is very good chart, you will be a very spiritual person. I'm talking about true spiritual person, not like what we hear about Swamijis in the TV news. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the true Swamijis. You know, the true spiritual leaders can be seen through their D20. Right? Are you with me?
Yeah. I'll pause the video for a minute and I'll be back.
Sure, no problem. Okay. All right. So we understand that D20 chart is very important in terms of our spiritual pursuits and our spiritual journey and how well we have grown in spirituality. Okay, that can be seen in D20. And then Chatur Vimshamsha is like 24, D24. It's all about our learning. Some people just call it as Vimshamsha, right? So Vimshamsha Kundali is all about Chatur Vimshamsha Kundali. I'm sorry. It's talking about D24 and your learning ability. So if there is a very good placement of Mercury and Jupiter in D24, that will give very sound education and you will be a lifelong learner if your Mercury and Jupiter is well placed in Chatur Vimshamsha chart. All right, Sapta Vimshamsha is talking about strengths and weaknesses that you have. And then since D27 talks about strengths and Trimshamsha or D30 talks about all your enemies, right? What evils that you are going to face. So we have to always study D27 and D30 side by side. Okay. So how well you are going to defeat your competition is seen through the strengths that you have in D27. On a contrary, you may have D30 showing a lot of competitors who may outshine you and things like that. So that is how you have to be ready to get prepared when you analyze these two charts, D27 and D30. And then D40 talks about Ka Vedamsha chart, talking about the maternal legacy. That means whatever you get the legacy from your maternal sides, maternal grandparents, maternal uncles, right? Mamaji, Nanaji, and all that. So whatever they leave the legacy to you, what you inherit from them is seen through D40 chart. And then the D45 talks about paternal legacy. Exactly the same thing from the father side. What legacy you get it from them is seen in Akshavedamsha or D45 chart. And lastly, we give a lot of importance to Shashtiamsha chart, which is a lot of, it's having the maximum importance actually in Vedic astrology if you happen to get the right time of birth. Okay, please note that every 48 seconds, the Shashtiamsha chart's Lagna is going to change. That is the seriousness of it. So what is that we are trying to say here is this. Divisional charts are extremely important because in a span of about one Lagna, that means one Rashi, if you consider, it stays there for about roughly 2 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes, or it can be 1 hour, 50 minutes and things like that. On an average, about every 2 hours, the Lagna is going to change. In that 2 hours span of time, you can imagine how many people are born on this planet, right? Not all of them can have the same characteristics. Even if you take the example of twins, right? So the twins also will have different characteristics. If the elder of the twins is a rich man, and the younger one may be a very ordinary poor person. I have seen this in my own consultations. I have seen they claim that both of them are twins. They come back to me and then they give the chart. Timings will be almost similar, but one guy will be in United States doing very well, and the other sibling will be doing very ordinary. They may not even have his own house and things like that. It is possible. So all that differentiates is divisional charts. Okay. So let's try to take one example. Right. So then you have any example for today?
Yeah, let's take one date of
If you have any birth details, I need precise.
Yeah, it is precise. Okay.
So I'm just opening Jagannath Hora here. You are able to see my screen, right? The font size is good enough. I think this is too big because when the font size become too big, small details cannot be noticed. So I have optimized the level of the font size here. So I hope you are able to see it. Okay. So can you give me the date of birth of the potential person that we are going to discuss?
Take it. Make the GMT plus 5:30.
Okay.
And GMT time zone is 5:30.
No, that's okay. It's by default. It will take by itself. No need to worry about it. So tell me the date of birth of the person.
Okay, it is February 13th.
February 13th. Okay.
1986.
1986. Okay. What is the time of birth, sir?
It is 12:35 midnight. 00. 35.
Okay. So that means you are telling me it's the middle of night of 12th February and early morning of 13th February, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. Seconds, see 56 seconds. That is why we have to give a lot of importance for seconds when you talk about
let us give us 20-30 seconds.
20 seconds. This nobody knows exactly.
Exactly.
Unless you really, it's a male or a female?
Male, Bangalore.
The person is born in Bangalore. Okay. Excellent. So this should be India. The rest of the world. And then let's say, okay. So 5:30, see, whatever you said is automatically coming. Okay. East of GMT. So Greenwich Mean Time and then east of that.
Right.
Now, let's understand this person is born in Meena Rashi. Okay, and then he's born in Scorpio ascendant, and let's also see the Bhava Charita Kundali first.
It's almost the same, except the
Bhava Kundali also says it's almost the same, right? So this is the precise date of birth, I guess. We have to give a lot of importance to time of birth here because you look at the Lagna, it is just 0 degrees and 39 minutes, right? So it is just entering, the Lagna is entering from Libra to Scorpio. It's in that Sandhi column. Sandhi column. And the rest of the chart looks, in fact, everything looks the same. Except for Moon gets shifted to Mesha Rashi here. The reason is this is 15 degrees. That is also in a border case. It is in the center of Meena Rashi, and ascendant happens to go to very extreme beginning part. So it has shifted Moon also into 6th house. Okay, and it is getting conjunction with Rahu. Where is Rahu here? Rahu is in Aries, which is 9 degrees. Okay, so it is more closer to Rahu, which is already there in Mesha Rashi or the Aries zodiac sign. Okay, so what do we need to see for this person? I told you in our PowerPoint presentation here, there are few charts that we can look into. Let's take only one example for this person. So should we take about the profession of this man? D10.
Yeah, let's check.
We can see how is the D10. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
see the fortune and property.
Fortune and property. That is Chaturthamsha chart, is it?
Yeah,
D4.
Yeah, D4. I mean, now when you say fortune and property, wealth and family, almost the same, right? Because
it is one and the same. And also, you should look into whether this is what he is born with, and this is what D16 is what he is going to enjoy. So we must see, if you are talking about fortune and prosperity, you should see both D4 and also D16. Okay.
Right.
So if that is the focus for this person, let's do that. Okay. I'm going to ignore this Bhava Chalita chart and I'm going to add in. So let's go to chakras. And here you can already see that Siddhamsha. Maybe I have to reduce the font a bit so that we can see the planets more clearly.
Yes.
So Siddhamsha is learning. We can now we are talking about Shodashamsha. We are going to give importance to this one, and then we are going to give importance to D4. So Bhava Chalita, I'm going to replace it. Or Siddhamsha, I'm going to replace it with D4.
D4. Chaturangsa.
How easily you can do all these manipulations in Jagannath Hora. Right? So the ascendant did not change in terms of D4. Chaturangsa. Okay. So now the ascendant is, you can mute your phone in case if there is some background noise. Don't worry about it. Okay? So in case we talk about Chaturthamsha and D16 side by side. So this is what he's going to be born with. Okay. And this is what he's going to enjoy.
Okay.
So the birth-wise, again, it is going to be Scorpio ascendant for this person. And then we are only talking about the Indian classical astrology planets. Okay, we are not talking about outer planets here. So Saturn goes to the 7th house, and Mercury is also there. So Lagna Lord, according to classical astrology, is Mars. Remember, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, according to Parashara Maharshi. So Mars goes to the Sukhasthanam, 4th house. Okay, it is having both of its best friends, Jupiter. In fact, all are friendly planets to Mars. Mars is a very good friend of Venus. Mars is a very good friend of Sun and also Jupiter. So this man is likely to have properties for sure. He's going to have this, he will have a beautiful house for sure. It has got a Shukra there, 4th house. Okay. And then Jupiter as well. So two main Shubha Grahas are there. And then Mars is related to landed properties. Okay, and Mars goes to 4th house, also will give him a landed property. So this man is likely to have a landed property, and is he going to enjoy from that? So again, that also can be seen here with 4th house Venus in the Shodashamsha. So definitely he is going to gain that. Always remember to look at the 4th house of any divisional chart from the ascendant chart. Okay, from the ascendant of that chart. So if you have Shubha Grahas there, it is going to give good results. Okay, and if Mars is there, that results is going to be permanent. You understand? So that means this man is going to have his property throughout his life without any mis-selling and all that. There won't be a situation for this man that he is penniless, he don't have money, and he has to sell it off. So that situation will not come for this person. Because his Chaturthamsha chart is very strong with 4th house Mars. Always look into that. Okay. Permanency is given by Mars.
Okay.
That is the rule. Yeah, and here it is Venus.
We first spoke about permanency is given by Mars.
Yes. I think I must have mentioned in one of the previous videos that we must have discussed. And that is what is seen. So property-wise, happiness-wise. So what is happening to the happiness of this man? See, look at this. The Lagna Lord of this Shodashamsha Kundli is there in the Lagna itself. That means Surya, it's going to give happiness through his own efforts, in his own Matrubhumi, in his own motherland. Okay, we are just purely talking about this Shodashamsha Kundli. And then the 12th Lord Moon comes and joins the Sun. It's forming something like whenever Sun and Moon is combined, we say that the person is born in Amavasya, right? I'm just giving an analogy. I don't know how much closer the Sun and Moon is there. That also we can see. Okay, so from this, it says that the 12th house impact is there on the Lagna here. So 12th house represents losses, foreign lands, and all the spiritual things can be seen by the 12th house. 12th house represents things in isolation and all that. So that means this man likes to work in isolation. Okay, and then get the happiness through that own efforts. Okay, he creates happiness. That's all. It doesn't happen to him on its own. He has to create the happiness, and there is some element of loss in that process. So he will go through some losses during the process of generating that happiness. You are getting my point?
I mean, losses in the sense, is it in a good way?
There is a connection of 12th house and the 1st house. So 12th house is house of losses. So to gain something, you have to lose something. That is what it is. Okay,
So,
and he is well designed to take that happiness because the Lagna Lord Surya is very strong in the first house itself. So it's very clear. And then second house of the family, okay, the accumulated, okay, what you value is second house, okay. So what you value, you have two negative planets here. So over a period of time, he has to work very hard, and you see there will be some kind of, this man will earn money, he will lose money. He will earn money, he will lose money. The happiness will come to him, and he will lose suddenly some amount of happiness because Rahu Ketu occupies the second house. Okay, so both of them is there, and third house is the strength of this happiness that he's going to get. Shodashamsha, the energy, and see, always third house is that what do you call that? That instinct, the basic instinct to fight for it. That is very good. The Jupiter, fifth lord in the third house, gives a lot of that energy and strength for this man to create happiness and enjoy that happiness. Okay, he will sacrifice many things to get that happiness. So that's a priority for him. And does he really get it? Yes. He gets a very good cooperation from his wife also. Fourth house has Venus. Venus represents the wife. And the happiness is definitely there without a shadow of doubt. And does he get the happiness from the fifth house? Yes. He will get the happiness from the kid of that, the creativity of that, right? See, please don't mistake the child of the person, physical child of the person. This is the child of the Shodashamsha. So whatever the output that Shodashamsha or the happiness of this man gives, he is going to be also happy to others. See, he will not earn the happiness at the cost of others' happiness. That's the beauty of this horoscope. You get my point?
Okay.
So there is a Shubha Graha here, and that happens to be the 11th Lord, Mercury, 11th and 2nd Lord, goes to the 5th house. Okay, I'm now talking
classical
astrology. I'm not introducing
greenstone logo. Right.
Okay, so that's why we have to be precise in what science that we are applying in our concepts here. So that is where I'm saying this man has a beautiful planet, Mercury, which is a very lucky planet to have in the 5th house. Okay, and this is what he's going to enjoy. And does he have that in his luck? So in the 4th house, 5th house, this house is empty here, and it is aspected by Moon. The thought process is there, but he cannot get this happiness just by his thought process. Okay, which is also his 9th Lord, Bhagya Lord, sitting in the 11th. He has to work for it. You get my point? Because Ketu is going to demotivate him in the 3rd house. So many times he get into demotivation state for that in the process of acquiring wealth and happiness. He gets into some kind of depression. It's not depression, it's he gets demotivated because sometimes initially he will not get the results. That is what is this. But he will overcome it and look at what is the result. This is what he is born with, and this is what he's going to create. Right? That is why I always see D4 and D16 side by side. Right? So you are born with this, but you are going to convert and make it this one. Correct? Making sense?
Yes.
So look at what is happening to the 7th house. You have Mars. That means Mars is like 7th house is what? It is other people. And for this particular Rashi chart, it is 7, 8, 9. 9th Lord sitting in the 7th house. So he also doesn't mind sacrificing his bhagya to other people to get the overall happiness. So this man always likes win-win situation. He wants his surrounding people also to be happy. He is not going to be very selfish in terms of enjoying the happiness. Whereas what is he born with? He is born with Saturn. He himself sometimes will not feel that lucky in terms of enjoying the properties and all that. He has to work hard. Okay, he has Saturn, the tough planet there, the 3rd Lord in the 7th house. Okay, and even 8th Lord Mercury comes and sits there. He did not get much support from the father. That is inheritance. He may get some small amount, but that's not really inheritance because Mercury is the 8th Lord sitting in the 7th conjoined with Saturn. So this combination makes him to work very hard to get this Shodashamsha happiness. And he makes it happen. He's a tough guy. He's a very, very tough guy. I tell you, Mars is a soldier, right? Mars is a soldier. He fights. He's the Bhagyadipati sitting in the 7th house, and he will make it happen. And he's being seen by King Sun himself. So with his own free will, King is sitting in his free will of Lagna. And with that free will, this man is going to command the commander of army to give way. And then, yes, Mars always listens to Surya. Okay. And Mars always gets a very special affection with the moon because he treats moon as the queen. So the king and queen aspects this soldier, and they command him to get the happiness. Yes, Shodashamsha will come to this man. Especially the second half of this man's life will be good. Yeah. And then it will be slow and steady. Why I'm saying second hand? Because Saturn gets debilitated here, 6th lord in the 9th house. And the Bhagyam, 9th house, comes slowly for this guy. And that's why he has to be patient. He has to get into his 40s, and then only he can see the liquid cash running very nicely for him. Okay. So that's what is my analysis for this man.
Beautiful, so in-depth analysis about financial matter. Because just the Rashi chart he was not supposed to give this in-depth analysis about wealth. This is more about wealth creation.
Yes.
Also the support from the planets, how the wealth generated. This is beautiful.
Yes. You should never miss out D4 and D16 and analyze.
So when we talk about D4 and D16, it's all about wealth and creation of the wealth.
Creation of the happiness. See, wealth may be there. The person may be very rich, but if his Shodashamsha Kundali is not good, what happens? He cannot enjoy it. Right? He may become sick. For example, you take the case of Steve Jobs. He mastered and he worked very hard, like he slogged and he created Apple, right? He became a very rich man overnight. Sorry, it's not overnight. He earned that wealth. And finally, when he came to one stage wherein he could just see the money like flowing like crazy, he died, right? He got cancer. So he could not enjoy whatever the fruits of his labor is coming to him. So that is what is the sorry stage for Steve Jobs, actually. That's what we
now see. Let us see health. So in that case, we should see the health of this person.
Yeah, we can see all that. So today, let's focus because it's going to. We have to analyze for that. If you look at my chart here, I will explain to you very clearly the D30 and D27 strengths and weaknesses. Right? D30 will tell you all the challenges that you are going to face, and D27 is the strength. Let's see that. This in the next video, in another video.
Okay.
Right. So today I just wanted to focus on one particular aspect. So which are the twin charts that you should always see? Like D4 is like what is the fortune?
Why can't we just see D60 once and see, like, because it's already open? We can have
definitely. But D60 is very complicated. Why? Because I do not want to. Unless the time of birth is really recorded for this person. I don't know how much you know about this man.
This is a very, very accurate time. Like you can say 1 minute plus or minus. That can make a lot of difference, but still, it is almost accurate.
Okay. So if you know that much, I need to drink water before talking about Shashti Amsha because I am not expert. I am a learner. I am a seeker. Because the moment you say Shashti Amsha chart, my hairs will stand up. I'll get goosebumps because this is a very powerful chart. It talks about we can even predict the Ayu of the person.
Right.
I don't want to really make those comments because I really don't.
See, let us see. I can tell you, make an honest interpretation. And Ayu, I can correlate because I can say that what is the Ayu of this person.
Okay, so that's fine. But the thing is, we are putting this Shashti Amsha Kundali straight away in the social media, and we are talking about it. And we don't know if this person listens to this lecture or the talk. I don't want him to feel anything. Let's not talk about the Ayu and all that. It's a very sensitive matter. Unless I do this on one-on-one, and I am not an expert in this. Let me say, because I cannot give anything wrong statement in a way that will not satisfy my own self-consciousness. Because Shashtiamsha chart is very, 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 very precise chart. Okay, if you are in the hospital, you are there, you are a doctor, you cut the umbilical cord and you noted the count, then it makes real sense. You can do a lot of predictions about it. Okay, so in general, we can just say that if you assume that this is his lagna of Shashtiamsha chart, it can be here or here. We don't know. Imagine if he is born here, what happens? You have you can see what I'm showing on my cursor here, right? It's Rahu there in the first house, 7th house, Ketu, and then Saturn.
Let's do one thing. I just want to give you an idea. Let's put the time 2 minutes back and see what the Shashtiamsha looks like.
That's a good experiment. Yeah, that we can do. I like to do the experiments because I'm a science student. I'm always a
when you are doing plus or minus 2, then we can come to an marginal conclusion. You cannot come to
that's how I do when people don't have the exact date of birth exact time of birth. Okay, you had given me 35.
Let's make it 32.
32. Okay, 3 minutes before, and look at what is happening. Look at what is happening. It's gone.
The answer is gone behind.
That's why I don't do this, especially in the social media. I don't do it. It's totally different chart, my friend. If you just go back to Jagannath Hora, instead of 32, you put 33. Look at what happens. Look at this.
I think this is a little bit sensible because 33, 2 minutes.
I told you, by my experience, it takes 48 seconds for a Shashtiamsha chart's lagna to change.
So now if you say like plus or minus 2, what is when you are doing plus or minus 2, you have to correlate with the person, Rashi chart. Whether these characteristics or whether the interpretation, what you're saying is matching him in real time scenario. If that is there, then we can definitely come to a conclusion on the Shashtiamsha.
Yeah, that statement is also very generic in my opinion. Why? Because look at what is happening. He has Lagna Saturn in the Lagna, right? So Mars and Saturn are the two extreme enemies. Okay? So if you go to the basic chart and look at where is Mars, Mars happens to be at 12 degrees and 31 minutes. And Saturn is at 15. Plus minus 3 degrees considered as a close conjunction. Okay, one is oil, one is the fire. Both are always there. So this man gets short temperament at some point of time in his life. Okay, this is prarabdham. This is there in his body. It's in the shape.
So now let's see the Shashtiamsha, what prarabdha he has.
So if that were to be the time, see, he may be born in any of these 4 lagnas. Right. So if that were to be this one, then it is making sense to me. He might have this one.
Right.
Okay. So that means this man is going to face extreme things in his life, and he has a very chance of getting moksha as well, because Ketu goes to the 12th house in the natal chart, and then he is born here to face a lot of challenges, towards the end, and then he will do a lot of things, and he will get into problems, and then finally he gets into clearing all his karmic backlogs in this birth itself. He is accelerating his karmic process, cleansing of his past life karmas. It's possible. That is what we can say. And if you imagine if it were to be with Gajakesari yoga here, with ascendant here, then he has the 3rd lord Jupiter in the 1st house, and then it is 10th lord Moon, and it is forming a Gajakesari yoga in Lagnam, which is excellent. That means he is going to face some problems, of course, with the 2nd house Rahu there and 8th house Saturn and Ketu. But definitely, he will become like a guru. He will become a teacher. He will enjoy comforts also towards the end of the life. And then the death comes slowly. 8th house represents Ayu, right? So he will have a long life. That's what it is. And this one maybe I don't want to say numbers.
See, now we are talking about Scorpio, Libra as ascendant. Libra or Scorpio?
I'm talking about Libra ascendant. It is going to give him longer life, 75 plus for sure, because Saturn is at the delaying factor there. Okay, whereas when it comes to this one, Scorpio, he may not cross. I don't want to say the numbers, but definitely it won't be a long life. You get my point?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what it is. And then when it comes to Sagittarius Lagnam, Ketu and Saturn comes to 6th house, and this man will be deadly to his competitors and things like that. Right? In his soul level, this is a very high level. You are making 60 divisions, you know.
Right.
That means you have 0 to 30 degrees.
Now, based on what you spoke about Libra, I mean, a long life above 75.
Yes, for sure.
That makes sense.
It could be. The person. This is how
divisional chart. That makes sense.
You have to do reverse engineering here.
We have to do reverse engineering. But if you tell me above 75, whichever Lagna matches, I think we can go with that.
Yeah, that may be the case. It may then he may be born with another 1 minute earlier, perhaps, or half a minute earlier.
So that means you can say 32 or 33.
Yeah, it's possible. That's how we can do this fine tuning. So, for example, this may be
32.50, right?
32 and then
50.
32, and then this one may be 30 seconds or 40 seconds.
40.
I mean, this is crazy. Yeah. So when you see that it's still there, so it is to be much earlier. Instead of 40 seconds, this may be 10 seconds, for example.
Right.
So when you say 10 seconds, it is, see how sensitive it is. So it should be 20 seconds. This is crazy, right? So this is really crazy. I don't know how, and you have to derive
25.
No, maybe 25. You have to put and experiment with 25. So with that, it may.
It's not moving.
It's still not moving. So it could be 30 seconds. See, this is.
Why it is going to the next thing even in 5 seconds? That's not.
I don't know. This you have to ask Jagannath Hora. So this may be 28. I don't know. So
28, 27. 1 second.
No, this one is crazy. Yeah, that's why I don't want to really.
See, now if you are talking about which Lagna is that? It is.
No, it is not coming to Tula Lagnam at all. I don't know why.
Yeah, but it should come.
I'm just showing you live, okay?
It should come actually, but if you now look at the Rashi chart, Rashi is at Tula Lagna.
Rashi went to the Tula Lagnam. So this man is born at a very, very crazy time, I tell you. Very interesting horoscope, very interesting character. Yeah, so the basic ascendant itself changed. So he's born in a very, very narrow spot, and I think this is very challenging horoscope. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now what we discussed in the Rashi chart.
Yeah. So I will put 31 and maybe 55, for example. So it's still not there. It is very back. So 31. So it has to be 32 for sure.
32.
And it may be 45 or.
Yeah. See, the Rashi is now perfectly moved to the Scorpio,
but this one is also there. It is never coming to this Jupiter and Moon house at all. Right. I don't know why.
But if you look at
45 seconds, right? So it should be a little bit earlier than this. So it should be 35.
No, if you look at what I am saying is, if you look at the basic divisional 45 seconds, it is right now in Libra.
Yeah.
It is in Libra actually, but it's not going there.
Maybe. I cannot conclude anything on this. We need to do more and more research work on this.
No,
that's why the Expectancy chart is very, very difficult chart. If any Ponga Pandit is there, he will say, I do this one, I can predict. Don't believe people, okay? There are people who are there to just make money and all that, and I don't trust their accuracy. This is Jagannath Hora, and I have a full respect for the man who has developed the software, Mr. Narsingh Rao, and he is an outstanding astrologer. A very good engineer by he's a software engineer by his profession also. He has put a lot of efforts to come out with this software. Okay, so
now even in my phone, it is coming to Scorpio Lagna. So if you're saying Scorpio Lagna, then the Ayureke is not above 75. That's what you're going to say.
I don't want to put the numbers there, but relative, see, you must understand one thing. If a person is born in Africa, the average lifetime duration of that country may be 50 years. If a person is passing above 50, that means it's great. It's considered as a high. If you are, you must go by the statistics. Do you know that? Do you know that? You just go to Google and you can say average life expectancy. Okay. Okay. For example, let me take Singapore. I live in Singapore. If you see, this is going to be very high. You know, the average life expectancy, if you see, which is
in Japan, it is 84 years.
Yeah.
Thailand, 77.
Oh, you already Googled it. Okay. Okay. Why? Yeah. It's
83 in Singapore.
People, according to statistics in 20, this is 3 years old statistics. In Singapore, they are going to live on an average of 83.5. But this may not be the case for example, Malaysia has significantly lower number. Right? So you can explore more. If you talk about Africa, for example, it may be 50. I don't know.
You check about it.
It's more about Singapore, but we can see for many other countries. Okay.
Look for India.
India. So let's take an average of an average Indian, how long he can live. If you pass 69 years, definitely you are considered as a Purna Ayu person. That means 70 is considered as a good milestone as far as Indian pollution and those things are concerned, and stress level that we take in India. That's what
it is increasing year by year. So just imagine.
Oh, yes. This is 3 years old statistics.
Yeah.
But now
if you consider the next 20 years, expectancy can go up to 80.
Yes, because people are very aware, they are taking care of their health, you know, and then, yes, it is possible. It's going to be increased. So it's relative to the column, the time, and also the geography.
See, there is also something called your Ayu, which is defined by the God.
That's just crazy to see life expectancy in Pakistan. What does Google say? Not bad. It's 67 years is not bad, but if you take about Syria, for example, yeah, it should significantly.
Oh, it is good. Yeah, it's also good.
Oh, I am surprised. It is 72 years.
You should check Kenya.
Kenya?
Yeah, Kenya.
Ethiopia. Okay. Ethiopia is considered a troubled country. It is not bad. 66 years. Which has the lowest? Which country has the lowest life expectancy? Don't say it's America. Hong Kong.
No.
It is the highest. I should see the lowest.
Come down.
The lowest. So it says Central African Republic. Yeah, this is what is expected. Yeah.
54.
Yeah. Awareness of health and the health programs from the government may be very low. Yeah, I am just speculating. I'm just it's off topic. It's not a part of our discussion tonight.
Right.
So overall conclusion for today is this: we need to look into the divisional charts for each and every aspect of life. You cannot generalize just by seeing Rashi chart. Always make confirmation, like what we did for this person's chart as an example. You should see the Rashi chart and also look into the other possibility in the divisional charts as well. Okay? So let's stop here for tonight's discussion. Sudan, it was wonderful talking to you again. And
yes.
Yeah. So we have learned a lot of things together today.
Yeah.
And so experimenting with Sheshti Amsha chart, we have to be extremely.
Yeah, I mean, see, first, one thing is like we are just trying to do some trial and error.
Right.
We cannot come to an absolute conclusion because
yes, there are gnanis, there are people who have the intuition. They don't even have to look into these details. They will just tell straight.
Exactly.
Some people look into the palm lines.
See, why? I know about this person, and his Ayu is above 80.
Okay.
So that is why I was trying to understand in the session.
So you should fit in mathematically. You should fit in the seconds and the minutes, and then see where
now we moved up like 5-10 seconds. It's skipping one lagna. It's not supposed to do that.
Exactly.
So
it is definitely going to change when you do trial and error, and then you will see the results. Yeah, it's a fascinating science of astrology, and it's very scientific. So the concepts are important. You can apply it anywhere. You must know what is first house. You must know what is fourth house of Sukham. You must know what is fourth house or eighth house of Ayu. everything. And then when you apply this, you will see amazing results, right? So Greenstone Lobo is right in his own way. Parashara Maharshi is right in his own way. We have to make an optimal use of both concepts of astrology, and then you will see amazing results.
Ultimately, we are humans, and we can only do predictions. We cannot say that this is the truth.
Astrology and its knowledge will help us to prepare better. Right? Prepare better, face this world better.
Right.
And then you can minimize the problems.
Yes. That is what the astrology is all about, to have some solutions to known problems instead of facing without any preparation.
I fully agree with you. All right. With this, let's stop this discussion tonight and have a nice weekend. Take good rest. And next week, we should see you back on the video. Okay? See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.